Hey guys, it's Myiesha, Beauty Director here at Sephora, and I'm here with Andrea.
Hi.
And we are going to do a first impressions video with the new Natasha Denona Gold Palette. A few other things, but we're really focusing on this gorgeous gold palette. It has gorgeous shades of gold, but it also has some really cool turquoises, which you can see that I utilize here. So we're going to get started. We're going to teach you how to do this look. So the first step is applying an eyeshadow primer. You might be really familiar with this NARS smudge-proof eyeshadow base, but they have some new colors. This one being completely clear and neutral. They have 4 new colors here, which are absolutely gorgeous for all skin types, or you can actually use a darker one on you if you want to do like a smoky eye or something like that. This is the NARS Pro Prime Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, and I'm just going to apply that with a small shadow brush. This is the number 15, and I'm going to put it on the lid mostly, but I'm also going to blend it all the way up to the brow just for consistency. You can apply this straight from the applicator. I like to use a brush just because I feel like I get a really nice blend. And as you can see, that kind of just washes out any discoloration, which is really beautiful naturally, but if I'm doing some darker shadows or more red tone shadows, I don't want it to mix with the natural color of your eyelids. So I'm just sweeping it across. I want the blend to be pretty smooth and perfect because that's going to affect the end result of my shadow. You can also kind of put it down here, just in that inner corner. It's smooth enough, it's not sticky or anything like that. Okay, so that's our first step. We're all primed. So we have the new Natasha Denona Gold Palette. I'm a big Natasha Denona fangirl. I feel like she just has some of the best formulas out there. This palette is gorgeous. It has all these nice golds and also greens that are really pretty. I think I want to go into some of the greens and use some of the browns to kind of like amp up your eye color. So I think that'll be really beautiful, but I'm excited to get started on this.
Me too. I love this right here.
So before I get started with the actual eyeshadow, I always like to use a colored base on top of the eyeshadow base we already did. This just kind of solidifies the color. I'm going in with a Sephora Collection Colorful Shadow and Liner in Khaki. And I'm going to use that all over to kind of create this smoky waterproof base and then put the shadow on top. I like to do the bottom first so I don't get creasing on top while I'm doing the bottom. So I'm just going to rim the lower lash line. And with the same brush I used for primer, I've wiped it off with a tissue. I'm just going to blend it in a bit. This is really great too if you have really watery eyes and powder shadow doesn't stick on its own. And go ahead and do the top a little thicker on the outer corner, just because it's more flattering shape-wise. Same thing, I'm just blending the edges. This is also really great to use if you feel like the pigment of your shadows doesn't come through. That's never a problem when I use Natasha Denona, but I still like to give myself a little bit of extra help with my shadow so I don't have to apply very much. Alright, so we're going to do the other side. Same thing, go ahead and look up for me. Again, I rim the bottom first because I find when I did the top first and I would have my model look up, or I would look up when I was doing it on myself, I would smudge the top. And that's never fun because it's like, what'd you do that work for? So same thing, I'm taking it all the way in. Just a little bit thicker on that outer corner. And then just blending just the edge. Once you get a good blend, if you feel like you need to apply a little bit more, you can. Okay, so before I go into eyeshadow, I want to put on some black eyeliner. I feel like that sort of solidifies the look. Because you know, sometimes after you put on shadow, especially if it's kind of glittery, it's kind of hard to get your eyeliner in there properly.
Yeah.
So I do it before and after. This is the Marc Jacobs Highliner in Blacker, his classic black color. And then I'll be using the number 18 shader brush from Sephora Collection. So I'm just going to go in and smudge the liner into your lash line. So I'm rubbing the liner between the lashes. I feel like that's the biggest mistake you make with a smoky eye, is not getting the black between the lashes. It just kind of makes it look polished. It looks really great in photos. It actually looks like a smoky eye versus just kind of dark shadow on your eye. So I'm just applying it and then taking my shader brush and just kind of blending it in softly. I'm going to apply a little extra on this outer corner just to make it more defined. I'm going to apply a little on the outer corner on the bottom as well. And then look down. And then lastly, I want to make sure that inner corner is really saturated. So same thing over here. Go ahead and close. I'm just going to smudge this into the lash line as best I can. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to smudge it. So just make sure it's nice and tight near the lash line. Take my little shader brush and blend it in. Go ahead and look up for me a little bit on the outer corner. Okay, so that is the base, and we're gonna start our eyeshadow. So I'm going into the eyeshadow palette finally after I've like set my eye look up pretty nicely. I'm gonna go in with a crease brush. This is the number 19 from Sephora Collection in the color Dijon, which is exactly as it sounds. It's a mustard yellow and very, very little because Natasha's shadows are very pigmented. And I'm just popping it into the crease as a transition color. I feel like it's easier to do your crease color and most of your shadow looking straight ahead because the shape of your eye changes a bit. And place it, wipe my brush off if I need to because again, her eyeshadows are super pigmented. So you only need a tiny bit. And then just blending it upward. And placing a bit in the corner as well. And just slowly blending it inward into that green. Okay, so same thing over here, right in that crease. You can also use two different brushes of the same kind, having two crease brushes, one to sort of lay down the color and another one that's totally clean to blend it. Or just do what I do and just like wipe it off if you don't have to. I feel like this mustard Dijon color matches my skin. So I feel like it's the perfect transition color if you have sort of olivey neutral skin, but for you it's just like popping really nicely as this sort of like almost like 70s vibe color.
Love that.
70s sofa chic.
Yes.
Okay, and just to wrap around the color, I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. I'll have you look up and you can go all the way around as long as I kind of get it on the bottom. It just kind of creates a more cohesive look to have that crease color on the bottom as well. It kind of creates like more of a sultry smoky eye versus like a crease color. Go on the other side. And I'll touch up the concealer after I'm all done. So don't worry if it comes too low or you feel like it gives you a little bit of darkness under the eye. You can clean that up. So now I'm going to go back to that number 15 brush. This is a small shadow brush, and I'll be using Aurora, which is the lighter shimmery turquoise. And I'm just going to press over the green. Now, this is much easier because I laid down that green base. I don't have to really work that hard to get the shadow to stay put. It's already blended because I already blended the green. I blended that crease color. This is really good too if you're doing a black shadow to use a black cream underneath. It just kind of like is wearing like an undergarment underneath your clothing. So I'm just pressing this on and this is just sticking so nicely like a double-sided tape. So it's placed on there. It's pretty blended, but I'm still gonna go in with nothing on my crease brush and just ever so gently blend those two together. You can pick up a little bit more of that Dijon color if you want, just to kind of help your blend. Same thing over here, go and close. Just pressing and tapping. Okay, so we were just gagging over this lime chrome color. So pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in that inner corner crease area. So I would say the biggest tip is if you feel like you can't blend your shadows, just put something super chromy and shimmery that reflects a lot of light right where you couldn't get the blend perfect, and it's just going to take care of it. But that is absolutely gorgeous. It shines like 3 different colors, pink to green to like a topaz-y color. So again, you can put this anywhere, but I feel like just putting it in that inner corner crease area just makes it so it doesn't take away from that mustard that we've just put in the crease. So, and now we're going to take this sort of dark turquoisey color called Python. Ooh. Yeah, it's really pretty. With our number 18 again, it's going to have you look straight ahead because now I'm just sort of tying everything together and giving you a little bit more emphasis. And I especially like to do this sort of dark shadow in the corner step with the eye looking straight ahead. So I'm creating like a V on the outer corner just so when you look straight ahead, it has this nice sort of feline effect to it. So I'm tapping here, just kind of like an imaginary triangle on the upper lid and then just kind of lining the bottom lid. The shadow is so pigmented, it's almost going on like a gel liner. So after I've laid it down, I'm going to go in again with my crease brush, which kind of blends everything I put down, and just make sure it's nice and softened. If there were a little imaginary triangle here, I'm just sort of placing some shadow there. This is a really nice place to also put black or a really dark brown. Putting on the lower lash line where we put that black on the bottom. And then taking my crease brush. I can tap a little bit into Aurora, again, that lid color that I had, just to help my blend if I need to. So I am going to finish off the look with mascara. This is the Hourglass Caution Mascara, and it's sort of like a does-it-all mascara. It lifts, it volumizes, and just provides a really nice sort of finished look. So caution, your lashes are going to get crazy.
Yay.
Go ahead and close for me. Your lashes are pretty long, so I'm just going to put mascara on the top and bottom and just sort of wiggle up. I find that's the best way to get volume, to go all the way around the lash. Oh, this is nice. I get those little baby lashes by holding the brush this way. Okay, I'm going to give it time to dry, so I'm just going to do the other side before I do the bottom. So I'm just really loading up the lashes with mascara and then combing them through to prevent any clumps. And then just sort of pressing them up so they kind of curl themselves. Just doing the bottom lashes, turning the brush sideways a bit so I can really get in there. So I'm going to finish off the look with a little bit of brow, and this is the Kat Von D Signature Brow, and I think I'm going to use this shade Light Brown. I think that'll be a really good one for you. The reason why I did brows after eyeshadow is because I feel like with a smoky eye, you kind of want to pull back the intensity of your eyebrow. You can't kind of have your normal day brows if you tend to do a heavier brow. I think it just makes the smoky eye look a little bit more polished. So we're going to go in with this just a little bit.
I'm excited. I've heard Kat Von D is so awesome.
I have worn her eyeliner every day for 10 years, so
Really?
I'm excited about this brow pencil as well. So I'm just going to brush up the brows. Andrea's brows are pretty even, but if you have sparse spots, this kind of allows you to see where you need to concentrate your brow product. So I'm just doing little strokes in the direction of the hair. This brow pencil has a nice little tip on it where it gives you like sort of a microbladed look, if that's what you want. Yeah, right? So in the direction of the hair, just doing little hair strokes, and I'm going to blend it with the little spoolie on the end, so don't worry about any harsh lines, just kind of laying down the product out first. And again, we don't have to do much. Your brows are pretty good, and you have a pretty fierce eye going on. But always, always use the spoolie on the end, even when you don't think you need it. You may not see it with your naked eye, but if you take a photo or something, sometimes you see the little areas that you didn't blend all the way. So again, just following the direction of the brow hair. And then just blending. So same thing. Just brushing it up, making sure you don't see any holes in the brow. So we're all finished, and I really like it. Do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's gorgeous. And I feel like if you really want a cool palette that's neutral, but you can still wear every day, but you still want some fun sort of turquoises and dual chromes and things in there, Natasha Denona Gold palette is definitely the way to go. And as always, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any videos like this. You'd be sad if you missed this video because this is really cool. And as always, comment below so we can talk to you guys and see what you like and what you want to see next. And we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.